Hello friends, welcome to the next session as part of the lecture series. Today we'll talk about divide and conquer approach. We already seen how we get the complexity of recursive algorithms, and divide and conquer approach is mainly used for recursive algorithms. So let us look at the basic concepts of divide and conquer. So this is a simple definition. Divide and conquer is a recursive problem which solve the problem which breaks a problem into smaller subproblems recursively, solve the subproblems, and finally combines the solution to the subproblems to solve the original problem. So in short, what we do is we take a problem, divide it into smaller subproblems, solve them recursively, and combine the solutions of the subproblems into a final solution. Fine. Now, what are the phases of divide and conquer? So it consists of three phases, as the name suggests. You have divide. So dividing the problem into two or more than two subproblems that are similar to the original problem but smaller in size. Next phase is conquer. To solve the subproblems recursively, right? You solve the subproblems recursively. That means you get the solution for each subproblem. And once you get the solution for each subproblem, you combine that solution to form the solution, overall solution for the original problem, right? These are the three main phases of divide and conquer. Now, so this is just a screenshot showing you all how the divide and conquer approach actually works. Now, this is a given problem. You have A, B, C, D in a lowercase. This is my original problem. What I'm doing is I'm dividing this problem into subproblems. So if you can just see, these are the original problem, and this original problem is divided into subproblem, right? And then we get the solution for this subproblem. Now, what is the solution? The problem was all the alphabets were in lowercase, and I'm just converted them into the uppercase, right? So each subproblem is given the solution. Now, all these sub-solutions are combined to form the final or original problem solution. So let us see how these three phases works here. So first thing what you have is divide, right? So what divide is doing is breaking the problem into smaller subproblems. Now, subproblems represents a part of the original problem. Remember, these subproblems are nothing but they are part of the original problem. Now, it is a recursive approach to divide the problem until no subproblem is further divisible. Now, you can just see these are the atomic forms of subproblem. You cannot further divide them. Right? In the beginning, let's say, suppose you started by dividing it into A, B, C, D, E, and then another part was F, G, H, I, J. Then you subdivided into A, B, C, D, and E. Then again, A, B is subdivided into A and B, C, D is divided into C and D, and E remains as it is. Fine. So dividing your original problem into subproblems till they cannot be further divided into subproblems. Then what the next phase is conquer. So this fifth step receives a lot of smaller subproblems. So all these subproblems are being put to this step, conquer, right? So at this level, the problems are considered to be solved on their own. You can just see these were all in lowercase, but in conquer phase, they all have got the solution. They all are converted into uppercase, right? And then the last phase, what we have is a merge. So merging when the smaller subproblems are solved, all the smaller problems are solved, right? So what you do is recursively you combine them until they formulate the solution for the original problem, right? So this algorithmic approach works recursively. We have already seen the factorial of a number. If you remember, when the factorial of n is taken, what you used to do is to call the function again, n-1, again it goes up, again is to call n-1, right? And once you reach the base condition, you get the solution for each recursive solution, you combine it and you get the final solution. Let us take a good example, that is binary search. It's a very simple example. As the name suggests, you'll be dividing a list in which you want to search an item into half every time. In each iteration, the list is divided into half. So it is one of the fastest searching algorithm because it reduces your search time. Right? It reduces your search time and it is used for finding the location of an element in the linear array. It returns the location where the item is present. It works on the principle of divide and conquer technique. We already saw now what is divide and conquer. And binary search algorithm can be applied only on sorted arrays. Remember, sorted arrays are kept it, or it can be a list also if you're talking about the Python. These are in bold because it cannot be applied to any list of items. The list of items must be in some sorted order, either ascending or descending. So binary search, apply the divide and conquer approach to solve it efficiently, and it will give you the complexity of big O of log n, which is quite good as compared to linear search. Linear search gives you the complexity of big O of n, and binary search complexity is big O of log n. Now let us look at an example so the concept is more clear. This is the list which is sorted. You can just see it's a linear list which is sorted. And what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to search for an element 15 in this list, right? And we'll be applying a binary search algorithm. Now this shows the indexes of the array, right? This is the 0th position and this is the 6th position, right? So the size of the array is 7, 0 to 6. Now, what is the step 1? To begin with, take beginning as 0 and end as 6. Beginning index is 0 and index is 6. Why? Because you need to calculate the midpoint. Now, compute the location of the middle element as, see, before you go into the detail, let me tell you all. In short, this is the list what is given. You're supposed to search for some item in the list, right? So what you do, you first calculate the middle point of the list. And then you compare the item with the middle item. If it is found, then search is over. If it is not found, then you check whether the item you're going to search, right? Right now, suppose you're searching for 15 and the middle item is 27. And the item what you're searching is 15 is smaller than 27. So you next time you'll be searching only on the left side of the midpoint. You'll not be looking at these items at all, right? You'll be searching on this side. Again, on this side, you'll calculate the midpoint. Midpoint is 12. Again, you'll compare it with 15. Now, 15 is greater than 12. Before, 15 was smaller than 27, so search from the left side. Now, but 15 is greater than 12, so you'll be searching on the right side. So it will be only searching this, right? And once it will compare, 15 is found. So same thing I'll be talking in front of the steps. Now, compute the location of the middle element as beginning is 0, end is 6, divided by 2. So you get 0 plus 6, which is divided by 2, which is 3. So this is my middle point. The index is 3. So A of mid is nothing but 27. And you compare it with 15. It is not equal to 15, right? And beginning is less than end. So let us go for the next iteration. Now, step 2, what you do is, now you check 27 is greater than 15, right? 27 is greater than 15. So now what will change? My end point will change. My end point was 6. Now it will become mid minus 1, right? So now my searching is on this side. So out of my end point will be mid minus 1. So end is equal to mid minus 1. That is 3 minus 1. That is 2, right? So mid is 2. Beginning will remain as it is 0. So it will be 0 and 2. So whereas beginning remains unchanged. Now compute the location of the middle element again. So what you have, beginning is 0, end is 2. So 0 plus 2 divided by 2, what you get is 1. So A of 1. That is nothing but 12, right? So A of mid, now mid is 1, which is 12. Compare it with 15. It is not equal, right? And beginning is less than end. So what you do is you start with the next iteration. Now in the step 3, again, what you do is you check 12 is less than 15, right? We are searching for 15 and the midpoint is 12. So 15 is greater than 12. So what you do, you again take the midpoint. Now midpoint will be mid plus 1 because it is greater than. If it is less than, then it is mid minus 1. If it is greater than, it is mid plus 1, right? So the middle point is 2 and the end is also 2, right? So 2 plus 2 by 2. So again, you get it as 2. So the midpoint is 2, that is A of 2, which is nothing but 15 and which matches the element we are searching for. So the search terminates and the index 2 is written. Fine. It's very simple. The binary search algorithm. Now the time complexity, as we know, it is a recursive algorithm. So for every recursive algorithm, you get the time function and the time function is converted into recurrence relation. So here the recurrence relation for binary search is T of n is equal to T of n by 2 plus big O of 1. Now n by 2 because your input size gets reduced into half for each iteration. Every time when you are searching, right? You started from midpoint, then again you calculated the midpoint, and then you found the item. You did not search this side at all. For the first time, the input is divided into half. Again, from this, again you're dividing into half. So each iteration divides your input search space into half. So search space is reduced to half in each iteration. And this big of 1 is a constant which is meant for the basic arithmetic operations which may be there, right? So if you look at the complexity, so it is big of log ny input is reduced into half in each iteration, which is much faster than linear algorithm whose complexity is big O of n. Fine. Now, what are the advantages? It eliminates half of the list from further searching by using the result of each comparison. We have already seen this. Every time the search space is reduced to half. It indicates whether the element being searched is before or after the current position in the list, right? How come? Now, when I was searching for 15, right? So I know when I compare it with this, I know 15 is on this side because 15 is smaller than 27. Right? And when I came here, the midpoint is 12. Again, I search for 15. Now 15 is greater than 12. So I know it is on this side. It cannot be on this side. Fine. So this information is used to narrow the search. That is, it reduces the search space. Now for large list of data, it works significantly better than the linear search. Now what is the disadvantage? The biggest disadvantage is you can apply binary search only if your data is in sorted order. Right? It employs recursive approach, which requires more stack space. You know, whenever a function is called, a stack is maintained by the system, right? And whenever a stack is maintained, it takes more space and the complexity also increases at system level because it has to maintain a complete separate data structure for each call what is generated. The interaction of binary search with memory hierarchy, that is caching, is poor. Why? Because it allows random access. Fine. So cache hierarchy is disturbed. Thank you. I hope the concept of divide and conquer and binary search algorithm is clear. If you have any doubt, you can message me or you can put it in the chat box. Thank you. Stay home.